Welcome back from the commercial break, and we are now winding up the Morning at NTV show for this particular Wednesday of this week. And what I need to tell you is that looking at the remaining period towards the 2026 general elections, we're seeing the different political players trying to come on board to see how they can be in person to mobilize for their different camps. And of course, when you look at this particular time, this is when people start hunting and also evaluating on what they have done and what needs to be done and how they can achieve it. Away from that, the Office of the President has dispatched of a team that is currently doing supervision of some of the government programs, and this team is being led by Major Asimwe Martha, who is the head of RDC Secretariat, and also this docket is in charge of fighting issues of corruption within the RDC Secretariat. Yesterday we were in two districts, that is to say Nebi district and Zombo district, and when we reached Nebi, there were a number of issues which were raised by the leaders. However, in the Zombo district, the issues circulated and centered within the issues of infrastructural gaps, and they're raising concerns about the state of the roads, which are in very deplorable states, and also a lack of hospital. To have this conversation better this morning, I'm delighted to be joined by Major Martha Asimwe, who is the head of RDC Secretariat. She is heading this team in entire West Nile. We want to understand generally why are we seeing this supervision at this particular time window, and what were her findings when she visited yesterday the two districts, now that today she's going to Madiokolo, one of the areas where Balalus are. You're most welcome, Major, to Morning at NTV show.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning, viewers and all Ugandans. The department of the RDC Secretariat is a department which was created by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda in his office of the President in 2018 to monitor the government service delivery through their structure of RDCs. And at this particular time, you cannot monitor what you have not mobilized for. And we came up with a theme of securing the future of West Nile and Uganda through accountability, peace, and social economic transformation. When you listen to this theme, it resonates with the ultimate goal and objectives of the National Resistance Movement government, and the reason why we are in West Nile is basically to look at what has been done, whether it has been efficient or effective, and thereafter we sit down with the leaders to agree on the gaps and see how these gaps can be fixed. We are also looking at corruption, because corruption has eaten the moral fiber in every sector. When services are not delivered, that means there could be a problem. When you talk about corruption, corruption does not only mean that someone goes and picks money or diverts money. You who has been given an opportunity to deliver service, when you fail to deliver that service, when you're not present at your workplace, that is corruption. Corruption manifests itself in many forms. If an RDC is not at station, if an RDC who is meant to monitor all services in government and all the services that are being rendered by government, and when we come to supervise and we find gaps, we find issues, that presupposes that our officers have not done their job. But this time round, we decided and said, assuming we went and engaged the technical people who are the action officers, who are the people who offer these services, engaged with all the leadership, the political leadership, engaged with the religious leaders, engaged with the cultural leaders, representatives of NGOs, and all people that offer and monitor these services. and talked to them and even informed them of what government has been able to give to these specific districts. And then we evaluate. Then I think at the end of the day, we come out and look at and agree at these gaps and agree to fix them. Okay. Because that is the relevance of government. Okay.
Maybe our time is fast being spent, and I need to let the room back to my colleague in the studio. In just a second, what do you have to say about the infrastructural gaps in this district?
I think we need serious work. There is lack of supervision by the people who do the technical work, more especially building schools. I think the supervision is not enough by the technical people. And my officers also, I think there is some sluggish in them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Major Baka Asimwe is the head of the RDC Secretariat at the President's Office, trying to bring us to speed as far as this ongoing supervision is concerned. And today they're heading to, that is the Mariokolo district, which is one of the districts that has Balalus, and then later on they'll proceed to Pakwach district. The comprehensive details of these stories and the findings of this particular team will come in our different news segments, that is to say, lunchtime bulletin, NTV Akaongezi, and NTV Tonight. For the interest of time, allow me to let the room back to my colleague Romeo in the studio to wind up with today's morning at NTV show. Romeo Ndugu, take from where I've stopped here in Nebi district.
Well, thank you so much, dear comrade Rashul Adidi.